Hi everybody, and welcome to the Coaches Show. I'm Angela Orsini, and coming up for you today, we'll be joined with head football coach Monte Cater and talk about his season opener versus Shippensburg. We'll then get some insider perspective from offensive coordinator Ernie McCook and defensive coordinator Josh Klein. And for our final segment, we'll be joined by athletic director BJ Pomeroy and talk about his university athletic department as well as the new Mountain East Conference. All this coming up next on the Shepherd University Coaches Show, brought to you by the Clarion Hotel, Parsons Automotive, and Shepherd University.
Located in Shepherdstown, West Virginia is the Clarion Hotel and Conference Center. Our friendly staff is dedicated to making your stay as comfortable and enjoyable as possible. With 168 guest rooms, 2 full-service restaurants, 6,000 square feet of conference space, and full-service fitness center, the Clarion Hotel is the perfect place for your next weekend getaway, banquet event, or business meeting. For your next event or overnight stay, contact Sherry or Jennifer at 304-876-7000 or visit us online at ClarionShepherdstown.com.
Welcome back, and we're now joined with Shepherd Rams head football coach Monte Cater. And Coach Cater, thanks for joining us today.
Great to be here, Angela.
All right. Last season finished up 9-2, ranked 22nd nationally, didn't quite get the playoff berth. So this year's team motto is unfinished business.
Well, I think last year we did feel like we were probably playing our best football at the end of the season. We had a little bit of a misstep there in the middle of the season. Started strong, had a couple tough road losses, but did feel like we were playing very well. So the unfinished business, something our players kind of came up with. I like that, but we've got some big challenges, and they'll start with this very first ball game.
Yeah, how have the preseason practices been? Have they been up to expectation for you and the staff?
I'd like it to have been a little bit hotter. I think you worry about conditioning early in the season, and there's always that question with the first game. Where are you? You've got the only thing to compare to is that you've played against yourself. It's just our offense against the defense, and so there's always some question marks, and there's some new faces. So I think that we've got that pretty much under wraps now. We're into our last week of practice, and looking forward to really finding out where we are.
So you have Shippensburg coming up, and this is, last season you won the 8th trophy of the Great Valley Classic with them, and you hold a 10-4 record. So this will be the 15th game coming up. And do you think Shippensburg maybe has a little block on their shoulder right now coming into this game trying to stop that losing streak?
Well, this is always one of the toughest football games that we have. I think part of it's the proximity. We're close. We recruit a lot of the same players. We know probably a little bit more our staff. We know a lot of their coaches and things like that too. But it is a physical football game, and I know they're going to be excited just like our guys are too. We've had the upper hand for a few years, but there are those games that could have gone either way. We've been fortunate and have played well both on the road as well as at home, but they have a lot of people back. I know they're excited about the year, as are we, but it should be a heck of a ball game.
Let's talk a little bit about Bobby Cooper. He was your starting quarterback last season. It was his first year as a starter. And what are your expectations for him here in week 1?
As an offense, I don't think there's anything better than having a returning starter at quarterback. They've been there, they've been under the gun. He had a really good year. The touchdown, the interception ratio was good, made good decisions. So he has been there. He's been there when we've been successful. He was there when we stubbed our toe just a little bit. But when you have somebody that's experienced, they recognize things just a little bit quicker, make reads a little bit better. We're excited about having him back. That's a great leader, a great start for our offense.
I know the Rams are kind of a run-first team, but you've been talking a little bit about the depth of the core or running backs quite a bit this preseason. So last year you had Michael Haynes. He had a touchdown versus Shippensburg. Kenny Williams, he scored 14 on the season. So what can we expect from the running game here versus Shippensburg?
Well, everything starts up front, and we did lose some key offensive linemen, some guys that have been in that position for a long time. And you can be a great running back if things aren't happening up front, where we're going to have some new faces or a little bit less experienced faces this year. It's a little bit tougher. You can have great talent, you're going to do that on your own. So we're excited. Kenny Williams is back. He split time a little bit with Tommy Addison and did have a number of touchdowns. Played very well in adverse weather conditions, and we're excited about having him. Michael Haynes, just one of those guys that I don't know if anybody works any harder than he does. He's going to be in the mix, and we're excited about a newcomer that's on our that's in our running back stable, Jihad Rashid, who is a transfer from the University of Michigan. And I think those three guys probably have a little bit of the upper hand, and we're going to play probably three of those running backs each ball game, along with the fullbacks. But I don't want anybody all beat up. I want us fresh at the end of the season, just like you are at the beginning.
Let's go to the other side of the ball now. Last season, the Rams defense was unbelievable. They led the nation in total defense and rushing yards. So looking specifically at Shippensburg, the Rams just held them to 34 rushing yards in this last game. So with most of the defense returning, practically all of the defense returning, how large of a responsibility is it for the teams to succeed in this game?
Well, it's going to be the same for every game, Angela. We're going to have, every day I think our offense finds out how good our defense is because we got to play against them in practice. But there are a number of people that are there. We have some standout players that are there, guys that had great years last year. They were consistent. And I think what happened a little bit maybe that hedged on the rushing, the rushing part of us being able to lead the nation is teams started to feel like they're going to have to throw the football. And I think they put a little bit less pressure on themselves to go ahead and have success running, because we did a great job of shutting down the run. But, I think one of the things that we're going to see actually with Shippensburg, we're going to see them spread things out a little bit more, probably throw it just a little bit more, so that 34 yards might be a little bit misleading. But it's, they got a lot of people back, and, just like our defense does. And our defense they're excited about trying to go ahead and do all those very same things again this year.
Total domination.
Well, we hope so. We hope so.
All right, well, with Shippensburg, they are the closest NCAA Division II school that you guys play to you. And how special is that rivalry contest for you guys to have, especially the first game of the season, to prepare for the rest of the conference?
Well, yeah, the proximity, I think, is always going to be something that, is going to be there. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and recruit some of the same players. We run into each other an awful lot, and, it's almost like having a home game. I wish it was at home this year, but as far as playing that game, it's a close game. I think it's a natural rivalry, and we got the Great Valley Classic now too. So I think it's going to be a huge contest, and I think the whole idea of us playing each year and playing that opening game each year puts an awful lot of maybe spotlight on that you want to get off to a good start, just like they do, and we're hoping we have a chance to do that. But we're going to have to do it on the road this year, and that's always going to be a big task going up there.
All right, Coach, we've talked a little offense and defense. Can you tell me a little bit about the special teams for the Rams?
I tell you, we probably put in as much time as anybody working on special teams, and I think we saw that last year with some long returns for touchdowns, some field position changes, and obviously having a chance to go ahead and have a big impact on the game. That's huge, and I think it gets overlooked an awful lot. We're going to have to replace the all-time leading kick scorer in the history of the league. We've had 3 great kickers in a row. But losing Eric Dobratz, he is a fine kicker. He was consistent. He had the job from the time that he was a freshman, and that's probably one of the areas where we really have to spend some time looking and see who's going to have that job. I think Troy McNeil returns as the punter, and Troy looks good in practice, is doing a good job. Jordan Domenico, a long snapper. We got another young man as a long snapper coming in, Matt Wickline, and he does a nice job too. But I think the kicking job itself is going to be the key for us this year, because the key guy's gone, and they've had it for 4 years, so people have been waiting a lot of times for their opportunity, and I think that opportunity's got to be right now. But Ryan Earls, Troy McNeil, probably Chris Boatler would be 3 people that are looking at that position right now.
All right, sounds good, Coach. When we come back, we'll be joined with offensive coordinator Ernie McCook and defensive coordinator Josh Klein. Stay tuned.
Located in Shepherdstown, West Virginia is the Clarion Hotel and Conference Center. Our friendly staff is dedicated to making your stay as comfortable and enjoyable as possible. With 168 guest rooms, 2 full-service restaurants, 6,000 square feet of conference space, and full-service fitness center, the Clarion Hotel is the perfect place for your next weekend getaway, banquet event, or business meeting. For your next event or overnight stay, contact Sherry or Jennifer at 304-876-7000 or visit us online at clarionshepherdstown.com.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show. We're now joined with offensive coordinator Ernie McCook and defensive coordinator Josh Klein. And let's go age over beauty here. Sorry, Ernie.
It's okay.
But you're in your 13th season as an assistant coach with the Rams football program. You're offensive coordinator and also associate head coach. And tell me a little bit about your offense this season and what you and Coach Cater have been up to and how you guys are looking.
Well, we're very excited about this upcoming football season with our offense. We are challenged from day to day in training camp and through spring ball with our defense. It's a great challenge to go against them every day. We're pretty excited about the group of kids and how they prepared, the work ethic that they put in, and it's all going to start up front with our offensive line. We have 3 guys that have starting experience back at that position. Sam Morey will be our starting center. I feel he's going to be very solid at that position. He's going to be very mobile, be able to work hard and be able to be successful there. We have Sean Hall is going to play left guard. He's a returning starter, as well as Jordan Dixon, who's been a great workhorse. He's moving out to right tackle. The 2 newcomers up front are going to be Isaiah Shelton at left tackle, and we're going to work with Damian Harrison and Cody Walco at the right guard spot. So it's going to be a group of guys that have come together through the spring, through camp, and they are excited to get after it and control the line of scrimmage. On the edge there, our tight end, John Frick, is a preseason All-American. He likes to think of himself as a receiving tight end. I try to tell him he's an outside tackle. So he's focused on, he really does a nice job setting the edge. I think he's going to be a great weapon in our offense as far as a receiving, but he's also going to be a very formative blocker.
I know there's been a lot of buzz about him, and how is he with the team? Is he kind of one of your leaders that you look to with Shepherd?
He's been a leader for 4 years. He's a 4-year player for us. He was an offensive lineman when we recruited him. We moved him tight end his true freshman year. He started as a sophomore, and then we had a transfer come in. But he is just a great human being. He's great in the classroom, great socially, and he's very productive on the field. He's somebody we're very proud of in the program, and it's going to show because of his performance on the field.
Let's talk a little defense with Coach Klein now. And you are in your 10th season with the Shepherd Rams football program, but this is your first season as defensive coordinator?
It'd be my second season.
Second season.
Last season was the first.
So is your job a little easier this year? You have 9 returning starters.
It sounds that way, but it's really not. It's a little more pressure. We have all that coming back, and we have solid backups for those guys as well. And Xavier Tyler's a guy who rotates in the defensive line, and he's as solid as Robert and Mike Franklin, and does a great job. And he's a guy that doesn't get the mention that the other guys do, but he's a solid backup guy, and he's one that I think we're gonna be excited about this year. Came back in shape, and I'm happy about that. Happy. Yeah.
Now you led the nation in total yards and rushing yards last year. So do you see a lot of that carryover coming into the season?
It's I get tired of hearing that just because everyone's going to expect it again. And our kids are great with it. They want to be great. They want to be number one in everything. So it's kind of, I have to tame that excitement a little bit on the practice field and get them to focus on just their own job and let them kind of play fast in that type of situation.
Is there any one position over another that you can label kind of as the strength of the defense this year?
I don't want to offend the guys, but I feel it's the defensive line, and I mentioned Xavier, and he's kind of a piece of that. And we have 3 returning starters, and Howard Jones, Robert Hayes, and Mike Franklin, and we're still searching for the other defensive end to kind of put the 4 together. But Xavier's a great backup that gives depth. That has played, and he's a junior as well, so he's played for 3 years and is going to be, he's going to be good this season as well. And I feel he's kind of the edge that gives the defensive line that kind of, hey, these are the guys we're going to count on.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about Shippensburg. Now, I know their offense last year when you guys played them wasn't so good, but as the season progressed, they got progressively better, and they ended up leading the NCAA Division II in first downs. They finished 9th in the country in total offense, 14th in scoring. So what do the Rams need to do to limit that attack?
I said it a few minutes ago, but we have to do our own job, and we can't think outside of what we have to do, and that's talking each position. And they have to just do what they're coached to do and play fast. There are no huddles, up-tempo type of offense, and it's going to be tough, and we just have to relax once we're in the game and play fast, try to play as fast as they do.
Make sure everybody does their jobs, not worry about what Shippensburg's doing, but just do your job right.
Each person has their specific duty, and we'll, if they do that, they'll be
You have anything
good.
to add to that as far as Shippensburg's offense and how it progressed last year and coming into it this season?
I don't know anything about their offense. They're a very explosive offense, and I haven't been able to watch the film through the summer with Coach. They do some great things. I know that they're a challenge. We have a lot of respect for the whole program and the direction that they're going, and our players are gonna respect them, but we expect to win.
So, guys, in practice, offense and defense. You've got 3 returners, you've got 9 returning, leading the nation and all this stuff. Does it get a little heated in practice?
It gets heated all the time.
Does it get heated among the coaches?
Yes.
Yeah?
A little bit. We're great friends, so we can put that beyond us. We just have a lot of older guys who have, and they've been playing since they were freshmen, so they have all those reps, the playoff season where they got to play extra games, so they played 14 games that season. So they have all that back up, and they're proud of that, and they show it at practice, and it does get heated, and it's back and forth.
Your young guys handle that okay?
They do a great job. And one thing, when we walk on the field and walk off the field, it's one group. We are Shepherd University football. That's one thing you can be very proud of our group with that. I tell everybody this: when my spring and summer camp is miserable as an offensive coordinator, my falls are usually pretty good because we have traditionally win with great defense and being able to run the football. And those are 2 things that we plan on doing year in and year out. And we like where we sit and how our season projects.
All right. Well, thank you, coaches.
Thank you.
The Rams were picked as the front runner for the West Virginia Conference in the coaches' preseason poll. When we come back, we'll find out why that might be the last time they garnered that honor.
Located in Shepherdstown, West Virginia is the Clarion Hotel and Conference Center. Our friendly staff is dedicated to making your stay as comfortable and enjoyable as possible. With 168 guest rooms, 2 full-service restaurants, 6,000 square feet of conference space, and full-service fitness center, the Clarion Hotel is the perfect place for your next weekend getaway, banquet event, or business meeting. For your next event or overnight stay, contact Sherry or Jennifer at 304-876-7000 or visit us online at ClarionShepherdstown.com.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show. We're now joined with Shepherd University Director of Athletics, BJ Pomeroy. BJ, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Angela.
All right. You're now in your third year at Shepherd as the Director of Athletics, and you've been an integral part of the changing landscape at Shepherd. Most notably, in your first year, you guys made it to the NCAA Division II Final Four. And what was that like for the university?
Well, first off, I got to thank the writers for the program saying that I was an integral part of these things that are going well, so I do appreciate that. But that first year was just an amazing, just a whirlwind tour for me. I came to Shepherd from Midwestern roots and knew of the success that the football program had in the past. And as I started watching scrimmages and watched the first game, I go, we got a chance to be pretty special this year. And then a couple other home contests, beating Concord and Fairmont in kind of close games, really set me to feel that this could be something. I'd had some Division II playoff experiences in the past with some of the institutions I'd been at. But I felt like the team that I was seeing as the season went really was coming along and going to do something special. The playoff ride was amazing, and the things that it did for the institution to be on national TV on CBS College Sports, to beat 3 Pennsylvania schools that always think that they're better than the West Virginia schools. It was great to have those things take place, as well as do it with the quality people that we have running our program. I mean, to me, we do things in a very honorable way. We like to win, but we're not going to sell our souls to do it. And to see that take place throughout that fall and know that we're winning with honor was something else. And then to hear from Coach Cater and from others of the emails, the cards, the letters coming in from fans, from long-lost alumni, from folks just even in the Panhandle area that were just thrilled for the successes that the program had. At moments it brought tears to your eye, thinking how proud we were making people by our successes, but also knowing we're doing it the right way too.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely hits the community because you guys are the Eastern Panhandle. Even for people that didn't go to school at Shepherd, the community, you still get an outpouring of support from them.
We very much appreciate that. Our game day experience for a home football game is one of the top probably 20 in all of NCAA Division II, and that goes to a lot of the history the folks have been coming, whether it was the Hill back in the day, to the revamped stadium, to the new turf. There's been a lot of upgrades that have been made over a long period of time, but it also connects the folks who've been coming for a long time and those who are new. If I could do one thing during my tenure as athletic director, it would be to make Shepherd the hometown team for the entire Panhandle. And a lot of ways it is already, especially on a football game day.
And also, you've gotten involved in some of the private funding for the athletics department. And one of the things you guys have put together is called Ram Nation. And it's basically some levels of a booster club that you can join, whether you're alumni or just someone in the community that wants to support the university athletics programs. Well,
absolutely. The one thing that Shepherd hadn't necessarily focused on to a specific level was the private fundraising for an athletic department. Every athletic department has that. Teams that had their own fundraising arms, but as coaches go, if I can put them in a position to recruit, plan, scheme, deliver on game day, repeat, they're in better shape. When they're having to do quite a bit of things on their own to help generate revenue for their program to help them do those things, that's why I think I'm always going to need their help as a director of athletics. But if I can take more of that off their plate through planning and being dedicated to that position, I think they hopefully would appreciate that they can see some of the outcomes without having to do as much with their hands getting into it. Ram Nation is a chance for our fans, for our alumni, for our friends to outwardly show their support, knowing that every athletic department, from the biggest to the smallest, the more revenue they can bring in, the better things they can do on the field, on the courts. And no doubt it's been something that helps us do shows like this, and so no doubt we're trying to improve the entire department by making those connections we've made with Ram Nation.
One of the other things I've noticed interviewing a couple of your coaches, they've got these Under Armour polos on. Sure. So did we strike a deal with Under Armour? We're a Division II school, and we struck a deal.
Under Armour is obviously one logo that is very recognizable now, especially for our recruited student athletes as well as our current student athletes. For photo day or for media day for the football team to watch the players come out in their Under Armour jerseys, for the seniors who got to take senior pictures in them. I don't know if they're any different than the new jerseys they got last time as far as how they feel, but those young men really felt like it was something special to be wearing Under Armour. a local company based in Baltimore with their corporate headquarters there. Our football coaching staff had a chance this summer to go to the corporate headquarters and see their research and development, eat in their cafeteria, recognize what a great company it is. I had the fortune this summer, along with Aaron Ryan, our Director of Athletic Development, to hear Kevin Plank, the owner and founder of Under Armour, speak to a large group of athletic directors, and to see the passion for what they do and the brand of what they create, but knowing that no matter what, they're making a good product, not just the good logo. To have that be part of our athletic department, knowing that our students are proud of it, excited about it, our coaches are excited about it, and knowing what that can bring as far as fan interest as well, into looking like they're a Shepherd Ram even more than they've had that chance before. I think that deal with Under Armour is something that you really get energized knowing you're going with a company with that great a reputation, with that great a product. So we're definitely moving into the future as we've come into this contract with them.
Yeah, I know as a former student athlete, that would excite me and definitely cause me to sign here too. So
we'll see what we can find for years available for you. Okay.
Let's just talk for a minute about the new conference.
Sure.
It's the Mountain East Conference now. Back in June, I believe June the 18th, we heard that you and 8 other schools had decided to leave the West Virginia Conference and form your own. And then on August the 20th, just recently, formed the Mountain East Conference. So tell me a little bit about that and what's going on.
There's a lot of work in those 2 months and 2 days to get to that point. There was, originally we had the 9 football playing members of the West Virginia Collegiate Athletic Conference coming with us to form a new conference. It didn't take long after that announcement was out that some of the institutions waffled a little bit in their commitment that they'd made on that day, but through some careful consultation and some thought processes on here's why this is good for you. It did take the full 2 months and 2 days for the inclination from the beginning to come full-fledged agreements and commitments by August. No doubt we started with 9 of the football playing member schools. We expanded the number to 12 schools. 11 of them are football playing members. The other one is examining whether they want to add football right now. We did lose 2. We lost, Seton Hill University out of the first grouping to the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. We would have loved to have them and University of Pittsburgh Johnstown be part of our grouping just from their proximity to Shepherd. But we did add in 3 new schools in Notre Dame College of Ohio, Urbana University in Ohio, and University of Virginia at Wise to go along with the 8 remaining football playing members of the WIVIAC. So again, we are starting a new conference, but we're also taking the franchise of the WIVIAC and melding it in to be the Mountain East. I expect the basis of the league of wanting like-minded institutions, a similar geographic footprint, will continue over the time as we grow into the Mountain East Conference.
All right. Can you preview a few of the games coming up?
Sure.
I know we've got the season opener coming up tonight.
We've got the big one with Shippensburg, the Great Valley Classic, opening up today. Next week we have our home opener against American International College. It is Ram Gridiron Club Day, where we'll be promoting our booster board for the football team. American International College is picked to be 3rd in the Northeast 10, another conference in our region. And they are somebody that Coach Kidder in his early years at Shepherd had a chance to compete against. And I know he would like to get back at that team for some of the results they had the first time. Beyond that, we've got Seton Hill, which will be our last chance to play the Griffins. Those will be at Greensburg. And then we follow that with one more road game, the University of Charleston, who's had a great running back last year and provided a nice running game. And there's always a physical contest when we play the Eagles down there.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And coming up next, Shepherd football.
Located in Shepherdstown, West Virginia is the Clarion Hotel and Conference Center. Our friendly staff is dedicated to making your stay as comfortable and enjoyable as possible. With 168 guest rooms, 2 full-service restaurants, 6,000 square feet of conference space, and full-service fitness center, the Clarion Hotel is the perfect place for your next weekend getaway, banquet event, or business meeting. For your next event or overnight stay, contact Sherry or Jennifer at 304-876-7000 or visit us online at ClarionShepherdstown.com.